Kick-ass facts! Phrenology! Pew, 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 pew! Phrenology, also known as craniology, is a pseudoscience that involves measuring the skull to predict a person's mental traits, character, and medical health. It was based on the idea that the brain is the organ of the mind and that different areas of the brain have specific functions. Phrenologists believed that the shape of the skull represents the shape of the brain. That the hard bone skull would mold around the soft, squishy brain. And that the shape of the skull could be used to determine a person's personality and intelligence. Phrenology was popular in the 19th century, but is now discredited, and some shady shit happened in the name of phrenology. Its ideas were used to support racist claims of genetic inferiority based on skull shape and size. It was used in schools, prisons, and asylums to demonstrate potential to reform these spaces. It was often used in recruitment for jobs, education, and criminal assessments. Judges and prison officials consulted phrenologists to assess if an offender was likely to re-offend. This led to decisions that could affect sentencing and treatment, often reinforcing harsh or discriminatory views. In prisons, officials would sometimes try to rehabilitate inmates based on phrenological readings. Let's talk about racism for a second. It was used to reinforce racist ideologies because practitioners claimed that certain races had skull shapes that reflected supposed inferior mental faculties. These erroneous beliefs were used to justify colonial rule, slavery, and racial segregation. In extreme cases, phrenologists argue that the physical structure of skulls marked some races as less intelligent or more prone to immoral behavior. Who was the brainchild behind this brain fart? Franz Joseph Gall. He was a German anatomist and physiologist and originated phrenology. His lectures in Vienna on cranioscopy, which is what he called it, offended religious leaders, and it was condemned in 1802 by the Austrian government as contrary to religion and were banned. 3 years later, he was forced to leave the country. Gall and his followers identified 37 mental and moral faculties which they thought were represented in the exterior surface of the skull. These faculties were divided into several spheres, for example, intellectual, perceptiveness, mental energy, moral faculties, and love. For example, if the skull is prominent in the area designated for benevolence, it indicates a strong capacity for kindness and generosity. A well-developed bump in the area for combativeness suggests that the individual is bold, assertive, or confrontational. A raised area in the self-esteem region would signify a high self-confidence and sense of self-worth. A person with a large acquisitiveness area would be thought to have a strong desire to accumulate wealth or possessions, perhaps suited to a career in business or finance. Here is the head of a childless lover of children. The parental love area of her head is underdeveloped, but the devoted wife and mother has a fuller love skull. I think Love Skull is the name of my new band. In the 1800s, phrenology parlors were common, especially in the United States and England. People visited these parlors for readings where practitioners would feel their skulls to provide insights into their personalities and potential career paths. Employers in the 19th century sometimes used phrenology to make hiring decisions. For instance, they might measure an applicant's skull to determine if they had the right traits for their particular job, such as strong organizational skills or a predisposition for leadership. This was seen as a way to scientifically assess someone's capability, but it was essentially just pseudoscientific form of profiling. People sometimes consulted phrenologists for guidance on romantic relationships. They would use phrenology to determine compatibility with a potential partner or to find out if someone had a personality suitable for long-term relationships. In some cases, parents would take their children's suitors to phrenologists before consenting to marriage, basing their decision on the readings. Some asylums and mental health institutions adopted phrenological principles, influencing how patients were treated or categorized. Patients were sometimes segregated based on their assessments, and treatments were tailored to supposed character deficiencies, which could be demeaning or harmful. Politicians were sometimes analyzed by phrenologists, and their skull readings were used to either endorse or criticize their ability to lead. Some individuals tried to improve specific traits that phrenology deemed underdeveloped. There were even devices created that supposedly reshaped the skull to enhance or diminish certain faculties. These contraptions were both ineffective and in some cases physically harmful. Phrenology also played a role in the development of eugenics, which aimed to improve the human race by controlling breeding based on genetic or hereditary traits. The idea that mental characteristics were fixed and could be linked to physical attributes like skull shape laid a foundation for these later, much more damaging pseudoscientific beliefs.